wear a mean dark pair of shades. And you can't see my eyes unless my head is bent. You dig?
Yeah, here we are, 20 Sweet 16. Happy New Year to everybody in the DSP community. That's bullshit, K Galleon, and everybody else. And Happy New Year if you're not in the DSP community. Except for you know who. You see, it's a new year, but it's not a happy new year for the bums of Kojima. I mean, what's there to be happy about? The last time I checked, Darkside Phil is still on YouTube, still pumping out videos, still doing his thing. You couldn't get the job done, sons. As a collective unit, you couldn't even put him out of business before the year ended. Take a guess on who is to blame for this massive disappointment. I'll give you a hint. It's not that stooge Moogle. It's not that bitter stooge Retrospective Gaming. I think everybody knows it's none other than Mr. Virtual Detective himself, Fred Fox. Since you want to be the voice of the anti-DSP community, this burden is gonna weigh down on your shoulders. You're gonna have to live with this burden for the rest of your life. You kept telling me you're not trying to take him down. How am I supposed to believe that when I have never heard you give him any sort of props? I've never heard you once give him 1 ounce of credit. So no, I don't buy into your theory that the SoK want him to stay on YouTube. Of course you want him removed from YouTube because you want to prove to yourself and your community that you're more than just a drama queen. You want to prove to everybody that you're much more than just all bark and no bite. And what better way to prove all of your points, all of your criticism, than to finally force him to find another job? The majority of your community wants his ass gone, and I know you're not dumb. I know you're paying attention to them. We see the comments, we see the tweets, we know what's going on behind the scenes. This is not about you, Fred. This is about your hundreds and hundreds of restless fans wanting Phil gone. Period. Hell, ask your stooges. Hey Moogle, don't you want DSP to get kicked off Machinima so he can learn his lesson? So he can get his quote-unquote karma? Jesus Christ, Fred. If that's what the people want, then that's what you as the leader have to do. Every mission has a time limit. Every operation has a time limit. And that's what I gave you. I gave you 3 months. That's 90 days. That's a lot of time. Technically, you had 15 months since your first podcast episode, but you didn't take the initiative. You just couldn't get the job done. I'm just wondering why. The question is, why did you fail? You had everything going in your favor. You had all the momentum. 2015 was Darkside Phil's worst year ever, at least on YouTube. 7+ years, and 2015 was no doubt his worst year. Let's start from the beginning. I'll do a quick recap. First things first, you launched your charity gimmick. You used it to disguise yourselves as a good guys throughout the rest of the year. It reinvigorated your whole community, gave them energy, gave them something excited and something to look forward to. Okay, fine, whatever. Then we had DSP's internet going down. He gets DDoS attacked. A couple of days after that, he gets swatted. Now, regardless of who actually swatted him, the fact is, it worked in the SoK's favor. You also have to remember at this point, he had gout. He was going through sicknesses and illnesses. It's not looking good for him so far. A month later, he gets multiple false copyright strikes against his channel. And at this point, he's got to be stressed out, paranoid, all of those things. Then October 1st, I come on your pod. Hell, I even helped you out. I was just curious to know more about this Fred Fox character and his operation. Turns out, I boosted your viewership. I boosted your sub count. It was never my intention. I never wanted that to happen, but it did. It happened. DSP fans know that the SoK exists because of me. A month later, we found out Phil gets a pay cut. He earns less money than ever. If that's not worse, John Rambo and Howard come out and throw Phil under the bus, much to my surprise. So now look at the big picture. How did the SoK not take advantage of all of these circumstances and put him out of business before that year ended? It was basically handed to you on a silver platter and you still failed. You are not the leader that everyone thought you were. You had one simple job to do. I mean, think of all the great leaders we've had over the years. Guys like Bill Clinton, who everybody loved because he delivered under pressure. He let his actions do the talking. And Derek Jeter is another example. Bottom of the ninth inning, he didn't choke and buckle under pressure. He overcame the odds and willed his team to victory. Even Rick Grimes under pressure situations, he got the job done in the limited time that he had. He let his actions speak louder than words. I don't see that same tenacity and aggressiveness in Fred. 2015 was the anti-DSP community's best chance at taking him down. But all they got was massive disappointment. I wanted to believe you, Fred. I really did. Because you seem really passionate about what you do. Why do you think I put the deadline in the first place? Because 2015 was your best chance. 2015 was the best shot to prove yourselves. I mean, you can't even take out DSP of all people. DSP is considered to be the quote-unquote weakest Let's Player. DSP is considered to be the quote-unquote most vulnerable Let's Player. And you can't even take him out? Now, you listen to me, son, because I'm only gonna say this once. You can't put DSP out of business if your life depended on it. Take my personal advice, Fred. Just give up, man. Because the more you try, the more you fail. You should change your name to Fred Fails. Your community may still laugh at Phil, but now they're also starting to laugh at you. Because they realize that you don't have what it takes to take him down. The funny thing is, all of this could have been avoided. All of this humiliation, all of this pressure could have been avoided. All you had to do was decline the debate. All you had to say was no. But you see, you let your pride get in the way. You let your ego get in the way. And now you have to suffer the consequences. Your people are starting to lose faith in you, Fred. They don't take you seriously as they once did. Because they know that you're not much more than terrible Vince McMahon impressions. You can do all those Vince McMahon impressions, but Vince McMahon actually put his enemies out of business. The only way you can redeem yourself now, Fred, is to step down as the voice of the anti-DSP community. Step down as the incompetent so-called leader that you are and let someone else take over. It's a new year, so what better way to get a new captain? What better time? Let's take a look at a few candidates, some of your own stooges. Maybe Freddy Fast Fuck can get the job done. Maybe he wants to be more than just a mascot. Maybe he has some bright ideas. Hell, maybe Alice, the cheerleader, can get the job done in a timely manner. Maybe she has that ruthless aggression that the current captain lacks. Maybe she wants to be much more than just a cheerleader. If those two are not good enough, then what about Evil AJ 2010? If it wasn't for his videos, the anti-DSP community wouldn't be as big as it is. The sons of Kojima would have never existed. So maybe he knows what to do. Maybe he has more secrets up his sleeve. But how will anyone know what they're capable of and what their potential is if they are never given a chance or the opportunity? Now don't get me wrong, despite a change in leadership, putting DSP out of business is still going to be damn near impossible. But anyone has a better chance than Mr. Wordsmith. If things stay the same the way they are, you can expect nitpicking more than ever. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. The sons of Kojima have run out of options. They don't have a charity gimmick in 2016. Phil is not gonna get swatted again. He's not gonna get DDoS attacked again. He's not gonna get copyright strikes again. He is fully aware of last year's booby traps and has taken safety precautions. Phil is resting in his comfort zone. If I was in the anti-DSP community, I would be worried, because you don't want him to get comfortable. After all of the shit DSP has gone through over the last 7 years, I can finally say that he can relax in peace without looking over his shoulder. This YouTube thing is not some fad. It's not some fluke. I truly think that this is Phil Burnell's destiny. He was meant to do this YouTube thing for a living. Why can't you see that, sons? Why is that so hard to accept? It's over, sons. It's over. Darkside Phil and his loyal fans have won this war. That you started, by the way. This war is now officially over because we have just realized that this is his destiny. The only way he's gonna go out of business is if Google decides to shut down YouTube. And we all know that's not going to happen. The most controversial superstar in YouTube history. He's been busting his ass for the past 7 years. Why does he have a Patreon, Sammy? Why does he need a Patreon, Sammy? You wanna know why, son? Because he can.